Hey guys, Stephen Michael here, and today we're taking a look at the Came TV 23-inch softbox. Now, I bought this with my own money, so nobody's paying me to say anything. This will cost you about $100, and it is kind of the competition, kind of the same thing as the Aputure Light Dome Mini 2, which is up there lighting me now. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Now, first off, let's talk about this bag. It is very well made. The nylon straps are very strong. The only downside to this bag are these zippers feel very, very, very cheap and chintzy, like they can just, like they're gonna break off. So I really wish they gave us a better bag. But inside, you'll see that it is very nicely padded with nylon and good quality nylon. And inside, you're gonna find the silver and gold reflector, this grid cloth, which is very nice that it is actually a grid kind of material, and you're going to get a grid with it as well. So very, very cool. Now let's take a look at the light itself. The light itself is made of rock solid material. This stuff is fantastic. It feels great. The cloth here, this almost feels like a plastic cloth. Really nice. One thing I did notice is that the ring is much heavier than the Light Dome Mini 2. And you can actually remove it as well and put in a speed ring if you don't want the Bowens mount. But setting this thing up is fairly easy. Just start pulling these up like so, and that's all you have to do. Really very, very easy. Sets up just as easy as the Aputure one. Actually, I think this is actually a little bit easier to open. And there we go. Make sure that's nice and Velcroed, and we are good to go. Now, one thing to watch out for when you are opening this is these rods go into these little pockets and they can actually slip out. So they're not sewn in. So just make sure that while you're putting this together, while you're popping the rods out, that they don't come out. But everything seems to be made of really quality material. Now, you'll notice the only thing missing in the center here is this does not have the signature gel holder. I really wish they had worked a gel holder into here because it looks like they have plenty of room, but that might be something that is specific to Aputure, unfortunately. But I'd like to see more brands incorporating gel holders, but not a big deal breaker anyway. But you can see it is made of solid metal material. Really love this. Next up, we have the reflector, and the reflector goes in very simply. You have these three little tabs here, Velcro tabs. Not the best attachment I've ever seen, but there you go. That attaches there, that attaches there, and then we just attach it to there. And there we go. Very, very, very simple. Next, we go along the inner side here with the grid and put the grid in. And again, this is very simple to do. And here we go. We have added the diffusion and finally the grid, which just goes along the front like so. And this thing is really, really easy to put together. And there we go, the grid is in. Today we are using the Aputure 300D Mark II, and the best way to attach this to the light is to go to the speed ring, make sure that the knob is tight, and then you want to take your light and line it up with the Bowens mount and give it a quick twist on the floor. And then just to take it apart, you're going to put it back on the floor, pull up the release knob, and give it a twist the other way. This is the easiest way to mount this. And I will say that I did actually have, had a hard time getting the this softbox, this Octagon softbox onto the Aputure 300D. So that will help you. Sometimes Bowens mounts and mounts don't always kind of work together. I mean, it works, it was just a little fidgety, so that's something just to keep in mind with this. Okay, so here we are. The light is about 3 feet away. This is what it looks like with the silver reflector in there, the grid cloth diffusion, and the honeycomb grid. And as you can see, this really controls light very, very well. If this were just the one light for YouTube, it would work very nicely. The light is at 40%. Let's go ahead and pull off the grid so you can see what it looks like. And there it is without the grid on it. At 40%, it really looks fantastic. Now, something to note, the light is hitting the reflector and bouncing back into the silver that's in the actual octagon softbox. And then, so you get what you do is you get this very bright ring. You will see a little bit of a shadow of the reflector. Don't worry about that. It's just bouncing. Somebody before asked me if that was actually blocking the light from coming out. No, it's just the way that it works. It's just a light intensifier. So let's go ahead and take out the reflector and let's look at this thing with just the diffusion on it. Okay, so here we are without the reflector inside. This has just got the diffusion on it. Now let's take a look at it with the grid on. Okay, so here we are at 40%. With the grid on, and as you can see, this is controlling the light very, very nicely. If I had to do an interview with this thing, this is probably what I would bring with me. Really is working fantastically. So really, really happy with that. I think the quality looks great. So let's go back and let's talk about my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Came TV 23-inch Octagon Softbox. This thing is fantastic if you do not want to pay the extra $30 for the Aputure Light Dome Mini 2. This is also probably more findable since Aputure products are so in demand. But this really holds up. The material is fantastic. The way it controls light is great. I have no complaints. The only thing I wish it had is that their signature gel holder, but that is something that you are going to have to give up for $30. The bag works really well. I do wish they put a heavier zipper on here because this really feels like it's gonna be the first thing to go, and then I'm gonna have to either put a new zipper on this bag or find a different bag. But all in all, I highly recommend the Came TV 23-inch Octagon Softbox for $100 if you're on a budget. If it's just for your studio, it cannot be beat. It sets up beautifully. This is actually the first thing I've ever bought from Came TV, and I'm very impressed with the company. So very happy. I'm so glad this is going to be finally up in my studio. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.